Hello,
Good
Rob.
evening, everyone. How are you? How's everyone?
Hello, Rolf.
How you?
Good. How are you?
How you, Rabbi Levy?
Baruch Hashem.
Hi,
How are
everybody.
you? How's everyone?
Not so great news, Rabbi Levy.
Why?
My nephew in Israel
Yes.
his liver. We're going to need a full liver transplant.
Please God, Be'ezrat Hashem, רפואה שלמה. רפואה שלמה.
I'd like to see if you can add his name on to our list.
Pashut. What's the question? Give me the name.
Okay, it's Shlomo Pinchas.
Yes, Shlomo Pinchas.
Ben Shaina Chisha.
Shaina?
Chisha.
Fisher. Problem. I wrote it down. Problem.
And then the other one is Chaya Sora.
One second. I'm write it down. Hannah Sarah.
Chaya Sora.
Hi, Sarah, but
Devora.
Okay, we're going to add them up now for the show when we start. Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to put them all together.
Thank you. Thanks, Rolf.
Pleasure. How's everyone? We have Dr. Les with us. Dr. Les, give us the good news, Dr. Les.
Okay, I just want to show you, Rob, I don't know if you get this in South Africa, the Hamadia, but we have...
No, Hamadia we don't get.
Okay, these are the three great Rabbonim. Unfortunately, we're Nifta, Rav Soloveitchik from Brisk, and Yitzhak Shiner from Kamenetz, and Rav Tversky, who came to South Africa many times. So it's been a very hard week because we've got three real Gedolim that unfortunately, and they all died of COVID, unfortunately, as well.
Oh, they all died of COVID.
So, yeah. But the good news is that 3 million Israelis have been vaccinated, and now if you're 16 and over, anybody can get the vaccination. So
Baruch Hashem.
Really, we're a vaccination nation. Israel's become the vaccination nation.
Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll say stop.
I can't talk because
guys, I'm going to mute everyone.
But three great rabbis passed away. I think you must do something about your hearing.
Everyone, all muted. Okay, everyone is muted. Mark, you can unmute yourself as usual because you are delegated Baal Kore. So בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח והשם עלינו ברחמיו וירוויח. השיעור יהיה לעילוי נשמר תמר בת זהבה, נשמתה תהיה צרורה בצור החיים, ולעילוי נשמת הרב אברהם חיים בן אליעזר יעקב, לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קדשיה, מרדכי בן רחמה, ולעילוי נשמת אסתר בת משה הנביא, נשמתם תהיה צרורה בצור החיים, ולרפואת משה מאיר בן חנה, אביבה בתיה בת שינה קהילה, שלמה פנחס בן שינה פישה, וחיה שרה בת דבורה, ליאורה בת מרים, מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, הרב אברהם בן מרינה, הרב שלמה יהודה בן דליה, טלי אסתר בת ליאורה, וחיה חפצי בבת שרה אימנו, דבורה בת אסתר, ולרפואת כל חולה ופצועי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם, ובכללם I heard that הרב Rabbi Alon have covered, הרב אלון בן גד, please God, הקדוש ברוך הוא will send them all רפואה שלמה, אמן כן יהי רצון. Okay, so we're starting פרשת השבוע. Parashat Hashavua is Parashat Yitro, and as usual, we do the introduction to the Parasha to understand. And I want to tell you the truth. When I was doing the introduction, when I was reading the history, what's happening behind it, I found things that I didn't even know until that was the first time that I read it and when I wrote it. I never knew about it. And you'll see very important, interesting thing about what's happening in a parsha to understand how does it go. Because this parsha, we all know, it's the Matan Torah, the receiving of the Torah. And there's a lot of things that we didn't know about it. Sorry, I'm speaking for myself. You obviously, all of you Talmidei Chachamim, you know better than me. But really, I didn't know some of it. And let's see what it's happened. In the year 2448 for the creation, and the 29 of Iyar, Yitro, and his daughter Tzipporah, and the 2 grandchildren coming to the wilderness to meet Bnei Israel, and that was straight after the war with Amalek. And Yitro actually converting and receiving on himself the 613 mitzvot. In Monday, the 1st of Sivan, Aleph Besivan, on Monday, Bnei Israel actually arriving from Refidim to Midbar Sinai, to the Midbar Sinai, that means to the Mount Sinai. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe Rabbeinu, listen to that, to not to speak to Bnei Israel because Bnei Israel is actually tired and weak from the journey. On a Friday, on a 5th of Sivan, Moshe Rabbeinu building altar, and not only that, he built 12 monuments in the bottom of Mount Sinai. And all the firstborn from Bnei Israel actually bringing the sacrifice, okay? And on that day, Bnei Israel doing Brit Milah. I was thinking that Bnei Israel never done Brit Milah in a wilderness. That was from Ma'amad Har Sinai until just before the Inter Eretz Israel. I was thinking from the moment that they left, after they done Korban Pesach, okay, that's when they done the Brit Milah, because otherwise they couldn't eat the Korban Pesach. It's now I realized that it was another day. It was on the Friday, just before they received the Torah, they all done Brit Milah. And on that day, Rabotai, all Bnei Israel say, Naaseh v'nishma. That was the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gone to all the other nations, or maybe before, and he asked them, listen, do you want the Torah? And we know what the Midrash say, until he come to Bnei Israel, and Bnei Israel say, Naaseh v'nishma. Hazal, by the way, that was, all of that was by the sound of thundering and lightning. Obviously, we all know that that's what happened there. Hazal says something very extraordinary in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat in page 146, folio 1. Hazal said that on that day, the decree that was on Bnei Israel, on all human beings to die, actually on Bnei Israel, that decree stopped. That means if Bnei Israel wouldn't sin in the golden calf, until today we all gonna be living forever. That means the decree on a death that caused by the sin of Adam Arishon, when they arrive on Ma'amad Har Sinai, been changed. Can you understand that? That's before receiving the Torah, okay? On the 6th of Sivan, that's Shavuot, the day that we receive the Torah, that was on Shabbat. Shabbat, the 6th of Sivan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will appear to all Bnei Israel, and all of them hearing and listening to the Matan Torah, that in Rashi HaKadosh said, and everyone explained there, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he gave the Torah, it was by the sound of thundering and lightning. Not only that, Hazal said in a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, in page 146, folio 1 again, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a miracle. What was the miracle that he done? HaKadosh Baruch Hu cured all the handicap that was in Eretz, from the Jewish people, from Bnei Israel. What does it mean? People that was deaf or hard of hearing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cured them. They can hear. Those that was blind, sumim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cured them. Those that was pishim, that mean that was limping, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cured all of them okay, on a day of receiving the Torah. So we hear from here, we're learning something extraordinary. We're learning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done a miracle on that day. Not only that, Hazal say in a Gemara, like I explained in Masechet Ta'anit, in page 21, folio 2. Listen to that. Hazal says something extraordinary that happened there, that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu given the Holy Torah, Aseret HaDibrot, the tablet, what happened there? There was a miracle, and we speak about it towards the end of the show. We'll see what does it mean, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the sound that all the world heard that, and that was by the sound of thundering and lightning that everyone can hear. Although that was thundering and lightning in Mount Sinai, the entire world heard that. And we'll see just now. Something else happened on that day, a very sad thing, that Atzilei Bnei Israel. What did it mean, Atzilei Bnei Israel? When I look at the commentary, there they explain it was the 7 elderly. What's happened with the 7 elderly? And that event, the 7 elderly, unfortunately, was sitting and eating and drinking instead of showing a respect to that event of receiving the Torah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't punish them immediately, only 11 months later, if I'm not mistaken, Kaf Aleph Iyar. Yes, Kaf Aleph Iyar. That means much later, 11 months later, okay? HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu have patience with them. Okay, so that's the introduction to Parashat Yitro, and now we start the Parsha. וישמע יתרו כהן מדיין, חותן משה, את כל אשר עשה אלוהים למשה ולישראל עמו, כי הוציא אדוני את ישראל ממצרים.
Yitro, the minister of Midian, the father-in-law of Moshe, heard everything that Hashem did to Moshe and to Israel, his people, that Hashem had taken Israel out of Egypt.
Okay, so here we see that the Torah tells us that Yitro heard about all the beautiful miracles that the Kadosh Baruch Hu done to Israel. Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, he born in a city of Troyes in the north of France. He born close to 900 years ago, to 1,000 years ago, 980 years ago, around 980 years ago. And he explained that, you know what Yitro heard? What did Yitro hear? Vayishma Yitro. The Torah doesn't tell us what did he hear. Say Rashi that Yitro heard 2 important things: the splitting of the sea and the war of Amalek. And we have to understand, what does it mean, the war of Amalek, and what's that have to do with all what's happening? But we have also to understand, why is it so important that the Torah tells us only the miracle of the splitting of the sea and the war of Amalek? And that's what those explanations we brought previous year. I'm just going to give you some idea quickly. I'm not going to go in depth into it. And then I'm going to continue with a different idea that I didn't brought yet, because I checked on my my previous show. I didn't bring it. I'm trying every show to bring new ideas on the Parsha. So there we explained that, a matter of fact, all the word heard, that the splitting of the sea, the war with Amalek. The difference is that Yitro was a clever man. Yitro was a very smart man. He heard what HaKadosh Baruch Hu done to the Jewish people. He saw what happened to Egypt. He saw what happened on a sea of reeds. He saw what happened to Amalek. He said something here very strange. This is a nation that they have a God. This is not idol worshiping nation. Therefore, he said to himself, this is a true God. Now it's time for me to do Hashbon Nefesh, the counting of the deeds. He decided that, and he converted. Hazal said that was the idea, that he converted. That's what we explained in the past. But I saw another beautiful commentary that brought by the Gaon Hida. The Gaon Hida is Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai. He born in Yerushalayim 297 years ago, and he explained like this. He said that Yitro, you know what Yitro saw and what he heard? Yitro knew that when Bnei Israel was in Egypt, there was for 210 years, because Yitro was the advisor, one of the advisors of Pharaoh. We know that. He said, I know that Bnei Israel was idol worshippers. I know that Bnei Israel, as a matter of fact, reached to the 49 level of impurity. 49 שערי טומאה, Hazal say. That means that there was, if they would reach to one more level of Tumah, to the 50th, that's the Shara Emunah, the gate of believing, as Hazal say, they will never be redeemed. So immediately HaKadosh Baruch Hu redeemed them. And he was surprised. How come HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that is such a holy and such a pure, reveal himself to who? To the Jewish people. And why? When they are contaminated with a 49 level. So when Yitro saw that, said the Gaon Hida, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as though that is such a pure and holy, he decided to appear and to redeem Bnei Israel from Egypt. Idan Hoshvim, why? Because he said, how can he save them? And look what he said in a pasuk. Asher asa Elokim, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu done to Moshe uli Israel. What it mean le Moshe uli Israel? Look how the Gaon Hida explained. The Gaon Hida said like this. He saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu and the tzaddikim that was in Israel, immediately everyone going to ask, what tzaddikim? You told me 49 level of Tumah. Yes, that was the 11th tribe, but was one tribe that never sinned. What is that? That was the tribe of Levy, because the tribe of Levy wasn't a slavery. The tribe of Levy was still studying Torah. And we know that who was also a Levy in that time before we become Kohen? Aaron HaKohen. He was the tribe of Levy. He was the brother of Moshe Rabbeinu. So you say something happening here. And though that Bnei Israel is so much down in a 49 level of Tumah, but their leaders, in the merit of their leaders, HaKadosh Baruch Hu redeemed such a nation from such a level, I want to be part of that. And that's what he hear, and that's when he decide to convert, Hazal say. So from here, when it's in a pasuk, that's Vayishma Yitro. What did he hear? What did he see? When he hear and he saw what HaKadosh Baruch Hu willing to do to his nation and the merit of the tzaddikim of that generation, that nation have to be the chosen nation. And therefore, he decided that he's going to convert and he's going to become part of that nation. And Rabotai, from here we learn another message, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu with us, with every Jew, wherever you will go, in whatever situation he is, even if he done the worst thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu never leave any Jew. In the merit of the tzaddikim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna redeem those one. That even that they're so far away. Many of the Jewish people, that done stupid thing. I don't want to mention what, I don't want to mention Averot of Bnei Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu never leave those. Why? Because that they kids. And the same like a father that doesn't leave his kids, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't leave his children. So for me, we learn an important level. Wherever a Jew is, wherever he is in the world, down under, or far away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is still with him, even in the darkest places, as the Maharam Migur say. Let's continue. Now let's go to verse 2, and we see something very extraordinary here. It says here, Vayikach Yitro, Hoten Moshe, et Tzipora Eshet Moshe, Ahar Shiluchea.
Yitro, the father-in-law of Moses, took Zipporah, the wife of Moshe, after she had been sent away.
Okay. What it means sent away? Where did she send away? Where did it say that she sent away? So Shiluchea referring to a get. A get. And that's not many people know, but we explain. Hazal in a Mechilta. Mechilta, it's a midrash halacha on our Chumash Mod. He explained like this, that when Moshe Rabbeinu decided that he's going to redeem Bnei Israel, he sent back his wife to Yitro. He sent his wife. To who? To her father. But when he sent her, he given her a get, Hazal say, and she was a divorcee for 12 months. And just remember, at that time, Moshe was not well known. He was a shepherd. He was a shepherd of her father. Her father was a well-known man, Kohen Midian. You know, she can marry anyone, but she was a tzaddikat. She never married any other man. What happened? Moshe Rabbeinu decided that it's not appropriate that his wife will follow him wherever he will go. He need to go to see Pharaoh. He need to deal with wicked people like Pharaoh and his sorcerers and his witchcrafters and all the magicians that there is in Egypt. He decided that it's not appropriate for his wife to follow him. So what is he done? Hazal explained that he given her a get. And for 12 months, she was divorcee. Hazal continue and explain something extraordinary. What's happened here? Why does the Torah tell us all of this? We have to understand. Hazal explained that after a year, when Tzipporah came with her father-in-law, with her father and with her two sons, what happened? Moshe Rabbeinu remarried her. And that's what it says, after he given her the get. Not only that, what does it say in verse 18? If you look quickly, I don't know how many of you have books, but I'll read it in Hebrew and I'll translate it. Or Mark, are you ready for verse 18? I'll read it in Hebrew and then you read it also. And then I'll. ויקח יתרו חותן משה עולה וזבחים להשם, ויבואו אהרון וכל זקני ישראל לאכול לחם עם חותן משה לפני השם.
That's not verse 18.
It's verse 18. Look there in verse 18, if I'm not mistaken. No? No, sorry, verse, where is it? No, it's not verse 18, you're right, because I wrote it. Maybe I make mistake, maybe it's verse 8. Wait. Where is it?
Could be verse 8.
Sorry? It's not verse 8. Yeah.
Moshe told his father-in-law everything that Hashem had done to Paro and Egypt for Israel's sake, all the travail that had befallen them on the way and that Hashem had rescued them.
No, it's in verse 12. Verse 12. I made a mistake. Read verse 12.
Okay.
My mistake.
Yitro, the father-in-law of Moses, took an elevation offering and feast offering for Hashem, and Aaron and all the elders of Israel came to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moses before Hashem.
That's it. So here we see, Hazal explained, that here we see that Yitro making a feast and everyone come to eat. And the Mefarshim say, wait. Moshe Rabbeinu so busy with Bnei Israel, leading Bnei Israel, judging Bnei Israel. He doesn't have a moment for himself. Suddenly have time for feasts, suddenly have time to sit and to eat and to have a great feast. What's happening here? The Mefarshim explains something extraordinary. What it means, ויקח יתרו את ציפורה אשת משה אחר שילוחיה, that here Moshe Rabbeinu, after 12 months, החזיר את גרושתו. It's a mitzvah to return your own divorce, as long as she didn't been married to another man and she never been with another man. Moshe Rabbeinu took back his wife and he remarried her. Okay, so he remarried her. But there is a mitzvah that if you taking your divorcee back, if you remarried your divorcee, you're obligated for one day of Sheva Brachot. And that's what's happened here. Say Hazal, that from here you learn something great, that Moshe Rabbeinu, number one, didn't schlep his wife and his kids to go with him to Eretz Mitzrayim, because it's inappropriate. It's lo tzanoah, it's unmodest that his kids, his wife, was schlepped from one sorceress to the house of another big sorceress, and to see all the evilness that the Egyptian done. He left her in Midian. He sent her back to Midian, to her father. But what was the greatest thing? That after 12 months, he remarried her. And not only that he married her, he took her back and he remarried her and he done Sheva Brachot, although that he was so busy. And that's what the Torah had come to tell us, that Moshe Rabbeinu, although that he was the greatest leader, he never forgot about his wife, to take her back, to remarry her. Okay, let's continue now to verse 17. In verse 17, it is something very important. Vayomer hoten Moshe elav, lo tov hadavar asher ata oseh.
The father-in-law of Moshe said to him, the thing that you do is not good.
Okay, what's happening here? Here we see that Yitro come to Moshe Rabbeinu and said to him, listen, it's not good what you're doing. You're judging the nation from the morning to the night. I don't understand where in the end, how are you going to cope? You're going to collapse in the end. And a matter of fact, as much that you're strong, as much that you have energy, in the end, you're going to collapse. Although all of that, Hazal say that Moshe saw what his father-in-law say, he had humility. He didn't answer him. He didn't say nothing to him. And that will lead us for the next pasuk. And that's where is the major come, the major answer. Look what it says in verse 22. In verse 22, the Torah tells us that here it says, ושפטו את העם בכל עת, והיה כל הדבר הגדול יביאו אליך, וכל הדבר הקטון ישפטו הם, והקל מעליך ונשאו איתך.
They shall judge the people at all times, and they shall bring every major matter to you, and every minor matter they shall judge, and it will be eased for you, and they shall bear with you.
Okay. Here we see that, a matter of fact, not only that he given him advice, Yitro to Moshe, Yitro telling Moshe how he should do it. And we'll see here the modesty of Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's what I wanted to reach. Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, born in the city of Andripoli around 500, in Turkey, 514 years ago. And in his commentary, he explained that, a matter of fact, Yitro was wrong. Why? Yitro said to Moshe Rabbeinu, you know, I understand there's conflict between people argue, it happened, no, nish gefelach. But you know, the big cases, they should bring to you. But the small cases, the 7 elderly, they should do the judgment. Only the big cases they should bring to you. Until now, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't say a word. But Moshe Rabbeinu now, Hazal said Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, correct him. But look how gently he correct him. Moshe Rabbeinu said to his father-in-law, I think that you have a bit of a mistake here. Because our Torah teaches us something extraordinary. Our Torah teaches us, like this he said, Din pruta kedin me'ah. The law of 1 cent is a law of 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. For us, there is no different if a person make wrong judgment on 1 cent or 100 rand or 1,000,000 rand. If someone stole 1 cent, it's equivalent to 100 or 1,000,000 rand. The punishment is the same. He said to him, you have to understand that dafka, when it's come to difficult cases, it can be on monetary, when it's come to money. Not only that, you have to understand that the most complicated cases, it's not necessary on big money. Because big money, you know, you own. But sometimes small money that, a matter of fact, there is no value in your eyes. But those people, Hazal say, when you take a money from a poor person, it's like you're taking his neshama, because that's the only money that he has. So if you take for a poor person the few rain that he have, you actually taking his neshama, his soul. And that's the most difficult judgment that can be. The big cases is not necessary that it's the difficult. He said to him, my job is to solve the difficult cases, not the big cases. Because sometimes in money, when it's come to small money, it's more difficult to make a pshara. It's more difficult to do the judgment. And that's where I have to be in the picture. The big cases, it's not necessary, because big cases, you can always come to kind of conclusion. You pay, you not pay, or you can pay it over a certain amount of months. You know what I'm saying? But in the small cases, how are you going to pay over 10 months, for example? You can't, because it's too small. He said that's the most difficult cases to make the decision, especially a monetary decision. That was the case. So until now, we're learning something very important. That here coming the father-in-law and giving advice to his son-in-law. The son-in-law keep quiet, doesn't say a word, until he realized that his father-in-law actually not really understanding the Jewish law. So that's mean here we see the modesty and the humbleness of Moshe Rabbeinu all the way. But when it's come to the Jewish law, when it's come to correct him, here Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't have any more modesty and humility. Why? Because it's come to the Torah. So he said to his father-in-law, the big cases is not the case. You know what is the case? More important is the difficult cases, that we have to go and to judge the difficult cases that the 7 elderly can't. Those cases that should come to me. And now we can understand what was the idea behind all of that conversation between Yitro and Moshe Rabbeinu. Let's move on to verse 27. I'm skipping a bit because in this parsha there's quite a bit. And 27, it says, "Vayishlach Moshe et chotno vayelech el arzo."
Moses sent off his father-in-law and he went to his land.
Many of the Mefarshim ask, how come that Moshe Rabbeinu allowed his father-in-law to go back to Midian, although that he converted? How come that his father-in-law gone back to Midian? Why? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu and Bnei Israel didn't try to stop him? Why did Yitro have to go? So we have to understand what's hiding. Yitro, when he saw all the miracle, when he come to Ma'amad Har Sinai, he converted before. Some people, it was say after. There is a mahloket in a Gemara between Hazal. Is Yitro converted before Matan Torah or after? That's a different mahloket. But vice versa, we have to understand, okay, Yitro already converted. You become a Jew. Stay with Bnei Israel in a wilderness and go to Eretz Israel. You're old enough. Because Yitro was the father of Moshe. He's over the age of 60, because we say from the age of 20 to 60, those people didn't enter Eretz Israel. So he's surely going to enter Eretz Israel. So why are you going? You're leaving everything. You're leaving Bnei Israel. And where are you going back? To your own country, to Midian. You understand the question, Rabbi? Hazal explained that Yitro wasn't a simple man. Yitro was a clever man. Yitro, to become advisor of Paro, you have to be very smart. The Mefarshim explained that Paro have a mission. When Paro returned back to his nation, Midian, Everyone knew that Yitro was Kohen Midian. What does it mean, Kohen Midian? The priest of Midian, idol worshiper. He have a mission now. I realize the truth. I'm converting. Kohen. Now I'm not a Kohen anymore. I'm not a priest anymore. Now I'm a Ger Tzedek. But I know what is the truth. I'm going to convert. What is Yitro done? He done a turn and he gone back to his country. Why? Hazal explained that all of his mission was to convert the entire place. That means his nation. He gone to convert his nation. Whoever convert, and not only that, Yitro have another mission, that he gone to fetch his family. And Hazal say in a Gemara in Masechet Sotah, in page 11, folio 1, listen what Hazal say, that Yitro merit that his children, that he into Eretz Israel, Yitro and his family, into Eretz Israel. Not only that, at the beginning they settle in Jericho. Later on, his grandchildren, Yashvu belishkat hagazit. You know what is it, lishkat hagazit? Lishkat hagazit is in Har HaBayit. What it means in Har HaBayit? Lishkat hagazit was where the Sanhedrin, that they actually paskin the religious law for the Jewish people, where they make the law. And Lishkat hagazit, member of his grandchildren, was part of those Sanhedrin. Do you understand that? So we see from here that because his devotion, okay, his offspring, merit to become part of the Sanhedrin, his grandchildren. Why? Because Yitro realized that all what he's doing until now is Avodah Zarah. He wasn't ashamed. He wasn't shy. What has he done? He said, Vachabiki, I'm now converting. I'm not shy to convert. Until now, I lived in a false. I didn't know it's happened. He converted 360 degrees. He gone to his nation to convert those people, gone to fetch his family, and took them where? To Eretz Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, you done all of that. Your honor, your respect, you're giving it all up. You know how difficult is it? You're a prime minister, you're a president. Everyone, what? Lehavdi. Here he throw it all. He become a normal person. For that devotion, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, no, that's not going to go for free. Maybe you're not going to merit, but your offspring, your grandchildren, I'll make sure for that you devoted everything and you change everything, they're going to sit in Lishkat HaGazit. Lishkat HaGazit, who doesn't want to be part of it? Lishkat HaGazit. That's where the Sanhedrin sit and where they paskin the religious law. And that's what he married. Now we can understand why did Yitro have to go back to Eretz Israel, and no one stopped them, not Moshe, no one. Obviously, Yitro explained to them that the main reason that he's going back to Midian to do that holy job. And now we can understand why Yitro gone back to Eretz Israel. I'm going to jump now to chapter 19, verse 2. Chapter 19, verse 2. And here it says like this, Vayis'u mirfidim, Vayavou midbar Sinai, Vayahanu bamidbar, Vayahon sham ha'am neged ha'ar.
They journeyed from Rephidim and arrived at the wilderness of Sinai and encamped in the wilderness, and Israel encamped there opposite the mountain.
Okay. Opposite the mountain. So here the Torah tells us that Bnei Israel, when they journey from Rephidim after the war, because what's happened in Rephidim, Amalek came and fought with them. That's what we read in the previous Parsha. When they journey from Rephidim, they arrive in Mount Sinai. But what's happening in Mount Sinai? Look what it says. Vayahon sham ha'am. What do you mean, Vayahon sham ha'am? Obviously, if they arrive there, they have to stop there. Well, what's the hidush? So first of all, we start with Rashi HaKadosh. Rashi HaKadosh say, like this, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. 4 words. What did Rashi try to tell us? I'll translate and we'll try to understand. Rashi HaKadosh say, like a man with one heart, okay? Like a man with one heart. כאיש אחד בלב אחד, like one man with one heart. According to the pshat of the dvarim, when Bnei Israel arrived in Mount Sinai, they was all united. They was all in unity. That's the pshat of the dvarim. But the Gaon Hida asked a question. רגע, אני לא מבין. Rashi, you tell us there was all like a man with one heart. So he said, okay, I understand what you're saying, but we have to understand how do you come to this conclusion. Said the Gaon Hida, you know what make Bnei Israel to live in unity and to become one nation? Say the Gaon Hida, what caused the Jewish people to live in unity together, it can happen only because one thing. How did they come to that conclusion? Say the Gaon Hida, that when a person doesn't become more, when a person doesn't feel or doesn't become or doesn't think that he's better, okay, than someone else, that's what can help other people to live in unity. So said the Gaon Hida, do you know how Bnei Israel reached to that conclusion? How did Bnei Israel live suddenly in unity? They say like this, this mountain, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna give the Torah on it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna reveal himself to us in Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai, if you look at him, is not the highest, it's not the greatest mountain, it's not the biggest mountain, it's not the tallest mountain. As a matter of fact, it's the smallest mountain around us. Bnei Israel say, whoa, something happening here. Something happening here. HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose to give his holy Torah to Bnei Israel on such a low mountain. There is a sign here. There is a message to us here. Why? That we should all live in humility and humbleness, the same like that mountain. Because if HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose that mountain, and he didn't choose the Everest mountain to give, for example, why? Because that obviously mountain, HaKadosh Baruch Hu realized that have humbleness, humility. So that's what we should live, in humbles and humility, each one of us, and individually, and actually everyone immediately will understand that he's not better than his fellow friend. He doesn't know much more than his fellow friends. And each one will respect each other. And if we're going to live in that kind of an atmosphere, that each one of us going to respect his fellow friends, we're all going to live in unity. And that's what Rashi HaKadosh tried to tell us. You know where Bnei Israel reached to that level, that they can all live together? One man with one heart, all of them? From the Mount Sinai. When they saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide to give the Torah on Mount Sinai. That's how Gaon Hida explained. So we learn from here something very important, Rabotai, that this parsha that we're speaking, there is something very important message. It's to teach us not to be arrogant, not to be proud. It's exactly the opposite. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves those that have humbleness, humility, that they're not here to show off. Those that they're modest. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. Where do we learn that? From Mount Sinai. Okay. So we learn from here something very extraordinary, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose Mount Sinai. Now, with your permission, I'm going to skip to verse 3. And here the Torah tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu going up to heaven. Let's read it and we'll see. ומשה עלה אל האלוהים, ויקרא אליו אדוני מן ההר, לאמור, כה תאמר לבית יעקב, ותגיד לבית ישראל.
Moshe ascended to Hashem, and Hashem called to him from the mountain, saying, so shall you say to the house of Yaakov, and relate to the children of Israel.
Okay, here we see that Moshe Rabbeinu going up to heaven. And we all know that Moshe Rabbeinu going up to heaven for what? To bring the Torah down. And Hazal and Yerushalmi ask something extraordinary. Wait, why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to go up to the Torah? Hazal and the Gemara and Yerushalmi say, in the same day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Matan Torah, when he given the Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed to all Bnei Israel all the law and all the mitzvot and all the chukim u'mishpatim. So why? And a proof to it, we know that in Shavuot, what do? We have a custom to eat milk product. One of the idea is because the vessel, the cutlery of Bnei Israel was unkosher. Why? Because then they got the mitzvot of halav and basar, shchita, that it have to be proper slaughtering, and etc. So in that case, why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to go back to the mountain? When I said to the mountain, up to the heaven, to bring the Torah down. That's one of the questions. And that will lead us for one more question to another question to understand all the idea. Why did Moshe have to go up to heaven? And that will lead us to next shaila after that, what the Midrash tells us. But first, let's answer one thing at a time, because otherwise I'm going to confuse. So Hazal explained that the main reason that Moshe Rabbeinu have to go to the mountain, and that commentary I saw from Rabbi Shaul Aduek. Rabbi Shaul Aduek, he was one of the great Kabbalistic in Yerushalayim that lived around in the early 40s, 1940s. And he bringing it in the name of his rabbi. His rabbi was Rabbi Mordechai Abadi. That was actually a great Kabbalistic rabbi. And he explained that the main reason that Moshe Rabbeinu have to go up to heaven, not only that they received the Torah, but here Moshe Rabbeinu going to receive the secret of the Torah. What it means, the secret of the Torah? All the mystical, all the Torah Kabbalah, the mystical part that hiding behind every word, Moshe Rabbeinu got to bring it down to earth. That means Moshe Rabbeinu need to go up to heaven. You know why? To bring down all Torah Kabbalah. That means all the mystical, all the secret of the Torah that we know. Okay, but now that will lead us to another different question. Hazal tell us that in the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, Pei Het Amud Bet, that means 88, folio 2, Hazal tell us that when Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven, when he arrived, Moshe Rabbeinu was scared. Why? Because the angel up in heaven wanted to kill him. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Moshe, why are you frightened? He said that Shema Yisrefuni Behevel Piem. What is it? When Moshe Rabbeinu arrived up to heaven, the angel said, whoa, what's happening here? There's a human being here? Yelud Isha Benenu? A human being? How can it be? What is a human being? Mal Yelud Isha Benenu. It means, what is a human being doing up in heaven? That's not his place. His place is not in heaven. What is he doing here? Listen carefully what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu. What did he say to him? He said to him, Moshe, ehos bekis'i. That means, Moshe, hold my chair of glory, and give him an answer. What does it mean, the chair of glory? You don't understand. You have to hold it. Why did Moshe have to hold it? It's not so pashut. There is a secret behind it, but it's not for now. So we see that was a controversy between Moshe Rabbeinu and the angel. The angel wanted to kill him because he's a human being. What is he doing up in heaven? Not only that, Hazal said the controversy was because Moshe Rabbeinu all what he wanted to do to bring the Torah down to earth. Moshe Rabbeinu said to them, wait, you're right. I'll answer you. You say, what am I doing here? I say, good. What is it written in the Torah? Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. Do you, angel, do you have father? Do you have mother that you have to respect? No. So this Torah not applicable to you. Not only that, it's a lo tirtzah. Do you have to murder someone? No, it's not applicable to you. Not only that, I'll tell you something else. It says in the Torah, אני השם אלוקיך, אשר הוצאתיך מארץ מצרים, I'm your God, that I took you for ארץ מצרים. הקדוש ברוך הוא referring to בני ישראל. Moshe Rabbeinu said to the angel, did you have to go to Egypt? Did you have to be in slavery in Egypt? No, the Torah is referred to us. Therefore, the Torah belongs to us. Chazal say immediately in the Gemara that all the angel, even the angel of death, come and give him present. What it means present? Each angel bring him his secret, how to prevent, if there is sickness in the world, what to do. Like the angel of death, when you see the danger coming and killing, the Zohar explained there, the plague what we have today, what is good to say, it's a Parashat HaKetoret. Yomar HaKetoret v'yinatzel. Anyway, that's not for now. Come the Mefarshim. Rabotai, what I'm doing with you is Kushiyah, Tirutz, Pilpul, Tirutz, Pilpul, Kushiyah all the time. I never done it with you. It's the first time that I'm doing it. I hope that you are not going to be bored by it. Said the Mefarshim, I don't understand. And that's the question that many of the Mefarshim ask. Listen, the angel to start with didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance to start with. Why? Then they have to argue with Moshe Rabbeinu. Why did you come to take the Torah? Why did they done all of that? And I saw a commentary of the Magid Miduvna. The Magid Miduvna, it's Rabbi Yaakov Krenz. He born in Lita around 280 years ago. And he bring in an answer in a parable. Listen what he said. And he said like this. He bring in a parable to compare, a mashal. And he said like this. In a small town was a great Talmid Chacham, a great rabbi that everyone loved him. He loved by everyone. Everyone loved him. All the Psak Halachot. He knew all the Torah of Bahat. Whatever you ask him, he have an answer. He was a great Talmid Chacham. And the member of the small town loved them with all the heart. By the big city, not far, the rabbi that was in charge about that city died, passed away. And they was looking for a rabbi. And they knew that in a small town, there is a great Talmid Chacham. And let's go and try to get him. So they came to the small town, and they spoke to the member of the Kehillah, the chairman, and they asked him for that. The chairman and the entire Kehillah chased them away. Tell him, Futzak, go away. You not belong here. This rabbi belongs to us. You cannot take that rabbi from us. Okay, they're gone. A month later, they're searching, looking, zuching, nothing, garnished. They're gone again. On the second time when they come, when people saw that delegation coming from the big city, took stone, stick, and march towards them and chased them away. So what happened? They immediately ran away because they didn't want to get hurt. Okay, they ran away. 3 months later, the big delegation from the big city decide, that's it, we're going. We have to get that rabbi because we can't get another good rabbi like this. We tried, many people, they're not in that level. We need a great Talmid Chacham. The third time when they come to the town, surprise, the member of the town welcomed them. And not only that, they make a nice feast. And not only that, they ask him to stay. You must stay, and we must make a special celebration to show our gratitude to our great rabbi that before he leave us. And they agree that he will go. Said the Magid Miduvna, what's happening here? Why is the member of that small town twice chased the members, the delegation from the big city? He said that when that question been asked by the delegation from the big city, they answered them, you know why we done it? Because we want you to appreciate that rabbi. This rabbi is a great rabbi. He's such a love rabbi. He's such a good rabbi that know all the Torah of by heart. And we want you to appreciate him. If we will let him the first time go, you wouldn't appreciate him like you will appreciate it now. Said the Magid Miduvna, that's what the angel done. The angel done all of that to fight with Moshe Rabbeinu, that when the Torah going to come down to earth, that Bnei Israel will appreciate the Torah, that Moshe Rabbeinu will reveal what's happened, how the angel fought for the Torah that will stay up in heaven. But in the end, not only that they agreed to give Moshe Rabbeinu the Torah present. What does it mean? To teach us how important our Torah say. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu have to go up to heaven and to fight with the angels. Moshe Rabbeinu needed to go to get the holy secret of the Torah. What it mean, the holy secret? All the mystical that we have. That mean all the Zohar, everything. Because how's the Zohar come down? The Zohar we know that been written by Rabbi Abba, that he was the student of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. But who revealed it all to him? Moshe Rabbeinu. That means Moshe Rabbeinu brought all of that, the secret of the Torah, down to earth, and later on in a generation, all Torah Kabbalah been revealed to those that understand the mystical part of the Torah, all the secret of the Torah. Say, the Magid Miduvna, all of that, the Malachim done. Why? That we will appreciate what we have in our hand. Our holy Torah is so important that each one of us have to appreciate it so much. And that's why the angel fought with Moshe. And now we can understand why did Moshe have to go up to heaven and not only to bring the secret of the Torah down, to fight with the angel. Let's move on. And with that, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to conclude in chapter 20, verse 1, chapter 20, verse 1. And I want to end up with something good, something that will keep us, please God, happy, and we'll see some nice thing what's happening. So it says like this, וידבר אלוקים את כל הדברים האלה לאמור.
Hashem spoke all these statements saying.
Okay, here we see that the Torah tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Bnei Israel all the law. What is he referring? All the statement. By the way, that here the Torah tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Bnei Israel, okay, he told them all the laws. What it mean all the laws? The 10 Commandments. בפשוטם של דברים. But listen what's happened. The Zohar HaKadosh explained that if you look at the tablet that Moshe Rabbeinu brought down, and those tablets, every person can see what's written on them, okay, from every angle that he will stand. What does it mean? We know that when Bnei Israel came down, when Moshe Rabbeinu came down the mountain, Bnei Israel was around Mount Sinai. That means they all was sitting in a round. Not only that, there was in a consolidate area. That means one row and another row, and all around Mount Sinai. Said the Zohar HaKadosh that everyone, whichever angle he is, he can see what's written on the tablet. And that's what was so special. And that's what it said, וידבר אלוקים את הדברים האלה. What Moshe Rabbeinu spoke, okay, everyone understood. Not only that, listen what it said. Our sages explained that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu told the 10 Commandments, every word that he said, the entire world was hearing it. Not only Bnei Israel, all the world. And everyone understand, because every word being translated immediately. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, כבד את אביך ואת אמך, immediately everyone that hear that can understand in his own language. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu translated the 10 Commandments that the entire world will hear in 70 languages. And every language that the person can understand, you understand the 10 Commandments in all of the world. Not only that, listen to that. Hazal say that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu given the Torah and Mount Sinai, that not only that they understand what does it say, for example, respect your parents, lo yelcha elohim acherim, that you should not have another God, you should not covet, you should not murder, and etc. Not only that, Bnei Israel not only that understand the 10 Commandments, they understand the entire Torah. That means all the pirushim, all the commentaries, and all the commentaries that will be, that been written on the Torah, all of it was there. And today when I said to the show to my wife, she said to me, wait, how is all of this commentary that people written after the Torah suddenly? I said to her, it's very simple. All of this commentary, who given to those rabbi to write? HaKadosh Baruch Hu given to Moshe, and Moshe given it to them. The only difference that it came just in a later stage. But Moshe Rabbeinu already revealed it. Okay? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that when he said that, he revealed it to entire Bnei Israel that was in that place. And how do we learn that? Hazal tell us when Moshe Rabbeinu was up in heaven with HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed him Rabbi Akiva. When he saw Rabbi Akiva, Hazal said that Moshe had halishut hadat. What it mean halishut hadat? He felt a bit weak. He said, if there is such a great man like Rabbi Akiva, he should give the Torah. And he saw that Rabbi Akiva writing all different commentary on every letters. So there, Moshe Rabbeinu felt really weak. How can it be such a great man? And me, that I brought the Torah, I'm not on his level. So the Talmidim asked Rabbi Akiva, listen, how do you know what you're writing is true? He said, Torah le Moshe Sinai. Moshe Rabbeinu felt better. That means that I'm going to reveal the entire Torah. What I'm seeing now, it's not necessary what I will know later. And that's what Hazal say. Hazal tell us that in that time, entire Bnei Israel knew all the Hidushim that's going to be on the Torah and all the Pirushim. Hazal say, and with that I'm going to finish and conclude with something good. Listen what Hazal say. La'atid lavo, kasher yavo melech HaMashiach. When the Mashiach come, la'atid lavo, when speedily in our days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yekabetz et kol Bnei Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will gather all Bnei Israel from all the 4 edges of the world. Listen to that. Velo kol haYehudim yavinu. That means not all the Jewish people will understand Sfat HaKodesh. What it means, Sfat HaKodesh? Hebrew. Not all the Jewish, because we see that there is many people can't read Hebrew, can't understand Hebrew. He said, but then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he sent the Mashiach, he's going to create a miracle, and he's going to speak. When he speak, the entire Bnei Israel, wherever they are, if they're in South America, if they're in whatever country that you want, whatever language that they speak, they're all going to understand. The same miracle that he done in Ma'amad Har Sinai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do the same thing when the Mashiach comes. And please God, we should all merit to see it speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will create such a miracle. Send us Mashiach Tzidkenu, and he will say, Dai letzarotenu, enough to all our tzoros, enough to all of that horrible plague that's running in the world, and Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will redeem us speedily. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon. I would like to take that opportunity. Thank you very much. Menachem, our great soldier. I can see him here with his uniform. Give me a great nachas. Every time that I see you, Menachem, my heart expands. I don't know how much, but it's great to see you with us, Menachem. Tell us how you're feeling. Please tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing
You're doing-
okay, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, it's been rough with all these lockdowns. Been staying on base more than expected, but we're pulling through, you know.
And when are you
Pulling through, I'm
finishing?
doing okay.
When are you finishing your service?
April, the 2nd of April.
2nd of April. Okay, so you basically have another month, because the last month of it's a chufsha. They give you a 1 month chufsha. So 1 more month, you finish your national service.
Nachan?
Okay, I hope by then the air gonna be open, and we hope to see you with us. Please God, it's always nice to see you for joining us. Great to see you. Any question, Rabotai, Bechavod, whoever wants to ask question.
Hello, it's Anthony. How are you?
Anthony, how are you? It's so
Right,
good
thanks.
to see you. Yes.
You know, Aaron was a Kohen, so that means his brother Moshe should have been a Kohen. And if Moshe was a Kohen, how could he marry his wife, a divorcee, back? If he was a Kohen, if Aaron was a Kohen, Moshe must have been a Kohen. So how could he marry a divorcee?
No. Let me explain to you. Moshe Rabbeinu, well, from which tribe he was? Levy. Nachon?
Right.
So Moshe Rabbeinu, his father was Amram. He was a Levy. Nachon?
Yes. But
Okay.
Aaron was a Kohen.
Nachon? Aaron became a Kohen. There is no tribe of Kohanim. There is tribe of Leviim. There is 12 tribe. There is no tribe of Kohanim. Aaron became Kohen. But you're right. The first Kohen that ever was Moshe Rabbeinu. But because Moshe Rabbeinu refused to go and redeem Bnei Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took from him the Kehuna and give it to his brother. So then he's not a Kohen anymore. And then if you're not a Kohen, you're allowed to marry a divorcee.
Okay, because I thought, brothers, if they're both brothers, they should surely both be Kohanim, if they're brothers.
No. Kehuna, Hazal explained that the Kehuna, it's going inherit of the father. That means your father was a Kohen, you will be a Kohen. And we know that, for example, that Aaron was a Kohen, Elazar, his son, was a Kohen, but Pinhas was his grandson.
Yes.
Pinhas was his grandson. How did he get Kehuna? Only after what? He killed Cosbi Batsur. Only after he killed Cosbi Batsur, you remember?
Yes.
So that means that he wasn't Kohen until there. When did he receive the Kehuna? After he killed the head of the tribe of Shimon and Cosbi Batsur. You remember what they done?
Yes.
You follow? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai?
Rabbi,
So
hi.
Rabbi Levy, let's just keep it up aim there. One should honor parents opposites when of Nifta as well in the Assyria to Dibros.
As I'll say, how can you honor your parents? You mean after they niftar? That's your
Nifta,
question.
yeah, because the terrorists is keep it up aim honor your
That the only kibud that you can do, how you can honor your parents now, by keeping the mitzvot, by doing mitzvot, and that merit can stand for them. I mean, to respect them, really, you can't, because they're not alive.
Yeah.
How they can benefit? You learn Torah, you're keeping mitzvot, you're doing hasadim. Your parents get merit in Olam Haba, and that's what lifts up, and that's the greatest nachas that you can do to them. You follow?
Okay.
But Rav, can I say something on this? We learned, I couldn't believe what I was learning, that if you don't visit the kever of your parents for 10 years, you're not allowed to visit again, which is unbelievable.
Wow.
And I asked the Shaila, And the truth is, if you don't go visit, it means you're not really showing respect. If you're living in the same town, it's a very heavy. It's very heavy that, but it's.
You're living in the same town in the same country. That's law apply.
It's a very heavy law. It's a very heavy law that.
Because Hazal say you're living in the same town, you're living in the same country, and you don't have the decency to go once in 10 years, then you don't show respect. And if you don't show respect, then don't go at all.
Yeah.
You follow, Dr. Les?
Yeah. Now, Rob, can I just say one quick thing? And it's just something unbelievable that we realized with my mom, Alava Shalom, she was in Parashat Bashalach, which, we did. And in Parashat Bashalach, that's where Moshe took Yosef's bones back to Eretz Israel, like we brought my mom. And in the Haftorah, you've got Shamgar ben Anat, and we had our Hespedim at Shamgar. So it's so relative, the Pasha, to what actually happened in our lives. It's just unbelievable.
Baruch Hashem. I want to tell you something. I saw a daven with Michael yesterday. We was davening in College Muse because we're davening up in the opening, and Michael was the davener. And what a schut that he have a minyan that he can daven in honor of your. And not only that, they done a private minyan in his house. I'm sure that you know, with a sefer Torah. And not only that, I'll tell you another thing. Your nephew, Eitan.
Yeah, they had a baby.
They have
and named a baby girl. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And named Shira.
That's incredible. And Shira Tamar.
Shira Tayam.
Wow, hey.
Then how do I know all of that? Because my daughter worked for Eitan. She looking after his kids.
Unbelievable.
You understand? So she's doing for them. So look how things rolling. Akadosh Baruch Hu took a neshama, immediately bring another neshama.
It's unbelievable.
But it's not. Be'ezrat Hashem, Les, I will bless you and your family that you only should see nachas. You always
thank you
should
so much, Rav.
No sadness. Any other question, Rabotai? Edem, I saw that you wanted to ask. Bechavod, Edem.
Yeah, Rabbi, what's the connection between the 10 Commandments and the 613? Is it? Yeah.
Okay. So I tell you, you ask a question that if we'll sit in it all night, we can answer it all night. Hazal say if you take all the mitzvot that we have, 613, a matter of fact, if you summarize them, it's the 10 Commandments.
Right. But I mean,
how? Let me explain to you. The first thing that it says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, lo yeh lecha Elohim acherim, nachon? I'm your God, you should not have any other God, nachon? That's the mitzvah. What other mitzvah we have? You should not worship idols. Nachon? You should not covet. What it means you should not covet? Don't take something that belongs to someone else. Nachon? Pashut, on a pshat of the dvarim. I'm not going deeps. Why? Because if you covet, you're worshipping idols. You understand?
Sure.
Okay. Now, I have, I don't know if to say it or not to say it. I have a case in Hoshen Mishpat. I spoke to my rabbi about covet. He said to me, listen to that carefully. That person that covet is like basically committing idolatry with a married woman. I said to him, how did you come to that? He sent me the source. And I couldn't believe it. I have the source. He sent me the book, the picture of that. I was mind-boggling. Now I'll tell you another thing. It's a kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. You should respect your father and your mother, nachon? You agree with me?
Yeah.
As how is that referring to all the 613 mitzvot? I need to respect my mother and my father. Nachon? That's what it says. Hazal tell us in the Mishnah, שלושה שותפים באדם. אבא, Ha'ima ve'Hashem. That means the father, the mother, and God. The mother giving him the Adom Shebo. The father, Lavan Shebo. That means the red is the blood. The white is the flesh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring on him the neshama, give him the neshama. What it means, the neshama? That means from here you learn, when you respect your father and your mother, you're respecting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if you're not respecting your father and your mother, you're not respecting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because they're partners. You understand how you can link it? And on and on and on. Choose another one that you like. You should not murder. Nachon? Take you should not murder. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has that referring to all our 613 mitzvot. You should not murder. What it mean murder? HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought soul to the world. That means by that you're murdering, you actually despise HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because you say, I'm God. I have the right to kill. I have the right to make sure who's going to live. That means that you're saying to yourself, I become a God. Has v'shalom. When a person decides to kill, when a person decides to steal, when a person decides to covet, he decides that he becomes suddenly above the law. So where is HaKadosh Baruch Hu? You push him aside. Has v'shalom. Do you understand how it works? All of them linking and on and on and on. You can do it all to all 613 mitzvot. You should not steal. Why should I not steal? What's wrong with stealing? Besides humanitarian, leave it. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we believe in the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, Lamed Bet Amud Aleph, 32 folio 1 if I'm not mistaken. Hazal said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Rosh Hashanah tell how much every person will get, how much money you will make every Rosh Hashanah. By that I'm stealing from Chaim Yankel, that means that I don't believe in what HaKadosh Baruch Hu given me. Not only that, I'm taking from Chaim Yankel what HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give him what he promised. So that means that I'm making again the law for myself. And I'm referring now all the time to Ani Hashem Elokecha, Lo Yelcha Elohim Acherim. Do you understand? All night I can do with you all the 613 mitzvot. You want Shabbat. Shabbat, nachon? HaKadosh Baruch Hu say on the 7th day you should rest, nachon?
Yeah.
Yom HaShva'i Shabbat. What it means Shabbat? HaKadosh Baruch Hu stopped working. If I'm working on Shabbat, I'm saying, wait, Vachabiki, I'm better than HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can create the world in one day. No, he took 6 days to create the world. Why did he stop on the 7th day? To explain to us, to respect what is this Shabbat. That means the covenant between us and him is Shabbat. By that I'm despising Shabbat, I'm saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen, you mean nothing to me. And on and on and on. Take all the 613 mitzvot and you can fit it with the 10 commandments. You follow?
Sure.
Amazing.
Okay, Adam,
Amazing,
I hope
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, any other question, Rabotai? No question. Okay, Rabotai, I would like to take the opportunity to wish all of you a great Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. To all of you, please God, keep safe, keep healthy, look after yourself. Nachon that they're opening all the minyanim, nachon, but it doesn't mean that because they open the minyanim, the COVID disappear. Keep to the safety. I'm not a doctor, but this is my obligation as a rabbi to tell each one of us, especially for me, we must not forget that the minyan is open. Yes, the minyan is open. We can all daven, obviously from a distance, but we have to keep. At the moment there is plague in the world. We have to make sure everything that we can do to make sure that we keep ourselves healthy. It's a mitzvah from the Torah. V'nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem. There is a mitzvah from the Torah to look after yourself. V'nishmartem me'od. What does it mean nishmartem me'od? That you should make every effort, every hazard to look after yourself. And nothing wrong. If you think that there's not enough social distance, walk away. Make sure that you're wearing a mask. Wash your hand, sanitize, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a doctor. Just make sure that you're healthy. Keep distance. We hear a lot of cases, and the difficult cases. Great tzaddikim, great tzaddikim pass. And Hazal tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he take great tzaddikim, the mystical rabbi explained, is they doing kapara to the nation. That means they're doing atonement. Because those tzaddikim, when they done, instead of, we don't know how many 100,000 should die, they taken on themselves. They become kapara, atonement. But that's in a mystical book, in a holy book. When a tzaddik die, and we see 3 great tzaddikim, זה לא פשוט. זה לא פשוט. It's not simple. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu obviously was a big decree on the Jewish people, and 3 tzaddikim given their life. Instead of how many? 10,000. Lo aleinu, chas v'shalom. If not 100,000. So not here to speak about the medical side of it, because I don't know nothing about it. But I'm speaking from the spiritual point of it, and look after yourself. Don't think that because now the minyanim again, we can forget about all the hazard. Make sure that whatever you do, look after yourself. And Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us speedily. We really need a Mashiach with us. That he will say, Dai letzarotenu. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will build this beautiful house. And if we each one of us going to daven, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please build your house, then we're not going to have any more sorrows. So I wish you all good Shabbos, a good night, keep well, keep safe, all the best. Zayin gesund.
Rob, thank you.
Thank you, Rav. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much.
All the best.